Now that we've learned how to stamp an image on black paper, wasn't that cool? What I want to show you how to do is to take that same image and align it on a long piece of paper so you can use it as a border. We are going to be using the acetate and one of the sub-positioners. What we're going to do is we're going to take the acetate, and you can see I've already done this, but I'm going to show you. You're going to take the acetate, you're going to put it in the corner of the acetate, of the positioner, of the sub-positioner. Then I want you to use, I like to use the Blackbird fluid chalk. It is a multi-surface ink, meaning that it will stamp on paper, it also stamp on acetate. I do need to use a stronger cleaner to get it off my acetate. I use a Judikins permanent ink remover to get it off, but I love the way it has a nice crisp edge and I can really see my image well. And what you're going to do is take that, and I'm just going to pretend because I have this done, it'll save a step. You're going to ink your image, and again, remembering that we're always stamping with the barcode towards the bottom, you're going to simply guide it down onto the bottom and stamp it on your acetate. There you go. Now I actually stamped that twice because I built up the value. I wanted to see it very crisply. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our main positioner here, and notice we do have these three the peg system, and what I've done is removed one of the peg systems pegs and put it over there. And I take my, I'm going to slide it underneath here. I'm going to take my image and I'm going to put it on my paper as I want to see it. There it is. That's exactly how I want to see it on my paper. Now take your sub-positioner and put that in place. There's a little bit of fooling around, but it works beautifully. So get your sub-position. Now glide your all three pieces, the paper, the length of paper, the sub-positioner, and the acetate, over till you have your paper in place. You can now remove your acetate, and the guide is really helpful. And if it's out a little bit, I can just straighten that paper out just a little bit. I am going to take some of my bright green post-it note tape that I like to use. I'm going to tape that down really well. And then, to protect your board, you're going to want to take a scrap, slide it underneath your black piece of paper and tape it down on where the adhesive is. And then again, add more tape. Remember, when we're stamping as many times as we are stamping these images, the big thing is to have your paper securely onto your board. Now we can take the white alabaster fluid chalk ink. We can ink it up. Again, take the stamp, barcode down. Remember to put the sub-positioner in. We use the sub-positioner line, and whenever you use the sub-positioner, you always want to just give that a little tug to make sure that it's in there nice and tight, and come down onto your project. There you go. Now I'm going to stamp it again. It's a little on the light side, which means my stamp pad probably needs to be re-inked, but it's not so much of a worry when you have a Cathie Allan Position It, because you can. Simply stamp it again and again. Now we can continue as we've shown you previously by painting that image in with the white acrylic paint and adding the colors with our markers. Before, I'm using a Tombow marker, which is a dye-based marker, which is going to dry much lighter. You can see it dries lighter when it is when it's not wet anymore. So I'm going to go in here. The nice thing about this is your coloring can be so loose. If you're not a fan of coloring, this is a great way to go, because when we restamp, it corrects all kinds of little errors. Now I'm going to take the pigment-based marker, the writer, and of course I'm going to go in here and start adding some darker detail to it. Now when I started adding the darker detail, I can hardly see the orange that I originally stamped in. So if you're having an issue with seeing the detail, because you can stamp over and over and over again in exactly the same place with the Cathie Allan Position It, we can simply go to a darker value. So we're going from red to orange. Pardon me, from orange to red. I'm going to stamp off one image. I'm going to come in here with a second value because I just want to see that. There we go. Just want to see that a little bit darker so I can add in some more of this darker color with my pigment marker, and you can see how beautifully these two types of markers are coloring onto my acrylic paint. A little sneak, you can get your black zig marker, and if you've got any areas where you kind of overpainted, like right here, simply take that black pigment marker. You can see it's all ready to have the detail put back into the image. And so what I'm going to do now, again, put the subpositioner back in place. To take your stamp and ink it again with that black bird, that multi-surface ink, which is going to dry so beautifully on top of the acrylic paint. Give it a tug, give that subpositioner a tug so it's in that corner nice and tight, and you're going to stamp that image not just once. You're going to ink it again. You're going to pull the subpositioner in the corner and stamp it again. Remember, barcode always to the bottom. And actually, each and every one of these images in this beautiful border that I have created that I can now use for a card or for a scrapbook page is been done. Each image has been stamped 4 times. You can let it dry in between, or you can use a blow dryer, not a heat gun, but an actual hair, a hair blow dryer to dry that. I'm just stamping 4 times, and you can see that image, we have built up that blackness. It's perfect every time. And when we disassemble everything, removing all our Post-it note tapes, you can see what we've created is a beautiful full color images on black paper. Oh, have I got ideas for this.